Welcome to Bank of America Business Fundamentals Series 1. I'm your host, Irene Cho. Today's topic covered pivoting a small business, how to pivot your business, keep your business moving, access government or local relief program. This webinar is brought to you in partnership with City of Los Angeles Economic and Workforce Development Center, BusinessSource Pico-Union Westlake region operated by Pace Business Department, and Bank of America. This webinar will be recorded, and you may find it on our website, eLibrary, after a week. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. Please mute yourself during the webinar. We are gonna use mostly chat room today. So use the chat room if you have any questions. So we are interacting with Valerie and attendees. Before we get to the topic of the day, I'd like to introduce PACE briefly. PACE was originally formed in 1975, and we are a 501 nonprofit organization. PACE Business Development Center provides many counseling services for local small business owners. We also provide free webinars and training to our local small business owners. We have various loan programs you can apply to your business. So if you have any questions, please feel free to visit our website or give us a call. Let's start to welcoming our guest speaker, Valerie Rivas.
Hi, thank you, Irene. Let me see here. Something happened to my screen. Can you see it okay?
Yeah.
All
Can
right.
you make it a little bit bigger? Is it full screen?
Yeah, it is full screen.
Okay.
Is everybody okay with it? Like, can everybody see it, or should I try changing screens?
We can see it.
Okay, let me try one more thing. Let me see here. Okay. Let me move it to here. Let's see if this works. All right. Is that better at all?
Oh, much better.
Okay. So I guess I just had to change it to the smaller screen, but sorry, I'm not the best at technology.
It's okay.
I'm a banker.
Yeah, this is perfect.
All right, perfect. All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, again, thank you again, Irene, and of course, Pace, for your continued partnership and allowing me to share with your constituents all of the financial literacy so that we can scale up your business. My name is Valerie Rivas, and I am Vice President for Business Community Engagement here in Los Angeles County area in Southern California. And I'm a business community officer for Los Angeles County. So what does that mean? I'm out in the community. I'm providing financial literacy, financial education, resources that the businesses might need, and then also access to capital options. And in addition to that, I sit on a few nonprofit boards. They all support business owners and entrepreneurs like yourself. I've been in business for 25, I'm not that old. Just kidding. 21 years. I've been in the finance industry, and I've been serving entrepreneurs and business owners for the last 15 years. I've been with Bank of America for a total of 10 years. So very excited to be here. And today is actually an important topic because there's a lot of economic concerns and changes that might be going on right now that you've probably already heard. But then also, we went through a pandemic, what was it, 5 years ago, and a lot of clients had to pivot their business. So today you may see some examples on the PowerPoint deck today that are related to COVID, but also all of the material in here also represents on how to pivot a business when necessary. Now, some of the objectives today, so we have three. So pivot, we're going to talk about pivoting your small business, keep your business moving, and then access for government or local relief programs. And today's class is a little bit shorter than usual. So I'm going to end the class with additional resources that are out there available for you and other nonprofits that might be able to help you scale up your business. And then, of course, you always have PACE here that can always help support you as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about what some of the concerns of business owners out there are right now, because I can guarantee you right now that you're not alone. Now, every year at Bank of America, we do something called the Business Owner Report. And in the latest report in 2024, we survey our clients, and we do this every year. So if you're a client, I encourage you to fill it out. If you have your business accounts, we want to hear from you. You can see the full report at bankofamerica.com. However, I wanted to highlight some of the stats that are related to today's workshop. So 93% of our clients were looking for access to capital options, meaning that they're looking for some sort of funding, something that will help them scale up their business. 84% of our clients are saying that inflation is currently negatively impacting their business, which is another reason why you should pivot your business if you're going through that as well. And then 87% are looking to increase revenue. So this might be another option as well. And then 80% of our clients that were surveyed across the country were looking to expand their business. Now let's talk about identify what is core and what can adapt to be resilient for success. Now, there's sometimes, you may not want to do this. However, you may have to, based on the need, and then also the market, economic concerns, or environmental concerns. I know that yesterday I actually went to one of our branches, our financial centers, and I was used to them closing at 6 p.m. and I needed to go into one of the branches so that I can connect to the network for my laptop. And they have new lobby hours that is until 4 o'clock. So that's something that, as a business, we had to adjust based on the need of the area. And not all of our financial centers close at 4 o'clock. So that was a surprise to me, but it makes sense because of, certain changes that might be going on. Now, reducing hours and adjusting schedules. This includes yourself and your employees. Improve operational efficiency. So you may want to take a look at your operations. And yesterday, actually, I held a class and we talked about maybe having a consultant to help you with your operations and see how you might be able to better your operations. And then also to think differently. So I always bring up the example of Kodak, right? Kodak was a film company back in the days, and it was a huge, right? They were like the leading in their industry. And what ended up happening, everything started going digital, and unfortunately, they just did not pivot appropriately. So being able to think differently, stay innovative, and then also capture ideas as to what are maybe one additional services that go in line with your mission or your product or services, or see what else maybe another product line or service that you might be able to add to your business. So just be able to stay innovative in your industry. Establish a small business emergency fund. So during the pandemic, we actually ended up seeing a lot of our clients, some of them had funding and they had savings account that were in store, or some of them actually struggle a little bit more because either one, they were just starting up their business, or two, they didn't have a savings account. And sometimes when you open up your account, you don't find the necessity to open up a savings, but you may want to open up a savings not only for unexpected expenses, but also an emergency fund pandemic, that was another area as to why maybe you should have that, or any type of economic concerns, or maybe even a slowdown in your business. So I know right now in our current events, we are having some some um some really hard times with the tariffs and additional fees that maybe these businesses will have to pay. And in addition to that, it also causes for you to raise your prices as well in order to stay profitable. So step one is analyze your core expenses, and also add, of course, a go ahead and add where you can actually save on a monthly basis automatic. So it's something that make it automatic. Chunk it down. So take a look at your profit and loss, see what your expenses are, see if there's anything that you could revisit. I know a lot of the merchant providers might be able to offer a better rate. Workers' comp, that's something that you may want to revisit and see if there's another carrier. I know at one point I had a client paying $24,000 on a yearly basis for a construction company. We were able, actually, with one of our partners, able to scale that down to 13,000. So you see how that can go into your profits, but then also you're revisiting your expenses. Marketing plan, that might be something else that you may want to revisit as well. There might be another marketing company that can either, one, do more for you, or two, do it at a lower cost without, taking away from your marketing plan. Get help. So, being able to get help, sitting down with your banker or your accountant, those are two advisors that can definitely help you. And your banker should be a free consultant for you, where you don't actually have to pay them for the hour. So take advantage of that resource. And then, of course, commit. And if you don't have an emergency fund, I always say just start at the 1%. So whatever 1% of your revenue is, start there and then work your way up to 10%. And so maybe you can do that where you scale it up to maybe 2%, 3% on a monthly basis as you go. Or maybe you could just, if you're in the position to be able to do the 10%, 10% is ideally the number that you want to stick to. Create a crisis communication plan. So this is something that a lot of us do not have. So business continuity, like how are you going to conduct business in case of a crisis? Or, these different companies right now, or different business owners that are dealing with the tariffs, like what are some of the things that they are going to pivot to do? So those are some things that I'm sure a lot of those businesses are starting to think about. Now, um, what what um what are some things that you might be able to do? Maybe you may want to transition to doing everything through your website as opposed to face to face. I know the pandemic actually pushed us to do a lot of these type of virtual meetings. I know that webinars are now more popular than they were in the past. And then also start some dialogue on social media, get creative, communicate with others in your industry and see what they might be doing in a crisis, in a time of crisis. But definitely have a communication plan as to, there is a crisis going on, how are you going to continue your business? Keep business moving. And so the coronavirus changes, this is how we work and questions to consider. If you can't sell, market face to face, what other ways can you find? So we just talked about this, communicate how you're going to be doing your sales, how you're now going to be taking orders if that's the case, or how you're going to be providing your services based on certain changes, economic concerns. In this case, we're talking about environmental concerns. If people like your face-to-face experience, how can you recreate that online? So how are you going to make that interactive to stay in touch with your clients, with your customers, to make sure that they don't lose that touch? And not everyone loves coupons. So how else can you stay on top of mind with your buyers? So maybe instead of doing coupons, you may want to do like some sort of referral program, or just run a promotion, because that is true. I've had I've had occasions working at the bank, believe it or not, that they say they tell me, they're like, oh yeah, we had somebody come in and they said that they had a $10,000 availability on their credit card. They didn't want $10,000. They wanted us to scale it down to $500. Then we also had somebody that had to pay for I forgot, it was like a free promotion, but they said I don't do coupons. I had never heard that before, but they didn't do coupons. They don't like discounts. Or like, just charge me what it is. Don't put the promotion on. And so it was just different to hear that, but you may want to also maybe have a combination of offering coupons, promotions, or maybe a referral program. If people are watching more YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok while quarantine, what can you do to reach them? Now, we do have actually a workshop on how to leverage social media for your business. And something also to consider is the type of the industry that you are in, because also YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, so forth. There's a lot of different other social media platforms. There's also LinkedIn. They all have a different personality, kind of like us, right? We all have a different personality. Same with those platforms. So, for example, YouTube, you would be creating some videos or some educational videos along your industry, whereas Facebook, maybe you want to do like a short video or maybe like a short podcast. TikTok, you may want to, create a funny video or something along the lines. Just make sure that it's something that goes in line with the personality of your industry and your industry type of where they're advertising in social media. Do you have your customers' email addresses, and how will you earn them? So it's being able to stay in touch, especially when there's certain changes, right? How are you going to communicate that now moving forward? This location is going to be closing at 4 o'clock, or maybe they're going to be staying up a little later because maybe it's just the demand that is in that area. So, how are you going to communicate this information in the event that there is certain environmental concerns in today's world? Access government or local relief program. So here are some resources that are available. So assistance options, there was a paycheck protection program back in the day when there was a worldwide pandemic, the coronavirus guidance and resources. There's also free business counseling. This isn't just because of coronavirus, but this is just overall SBA has to provide. If you're not familiar with SBA.gov, that's the Small Business Administration. That is a government agency that helps scale up businesses with different resources and also certain loans that can help you get into these loans with the guidelines not being so hard on you so that you can get approved. Home and business disaster loans. Unfortunately, just recently, what did we go through here in LA? I know most of you here today are probably part of the Los Angeles County area, as so is Pace. We had the LA wildfires. So what ended up happening is some people lost their businesses, some people lost their homes, or both, unfortunately. Bank of America actually lost one of our Altadena branches, and unfortunately, our Pacific Palisades also was was pretty much almost burned down. I don't think that we're going to be able to fix that building. So there are resources out there for you as far as any type of disaster or any type of environmental concerns, such as like the pandemic that we went through. So if you are going through these issues right now because of our current events, or maybe you were negatively impacted by the LA wildfires, please let Irene or myself know. We would be happy to guide you to different resources that are available out there to help you kind of scale up your business, but then also get you back on track. And some of these programs also, they amortize over 30 years. So you got to understand, for these type of loans, traditional loans, the maximum we can probably go is 10 years when it comes to loans like that, but they are extending those for 30 years. And then also federal and government contracting. So I know that Pace has their procurement segment as they do their entrepreneur payments. So they had an entrepreneurial segment. So make sure that you're connecting with Pace. They're a really great organization and they have additional resources. So Pace can also help you get contracted as get certified so that you can get government contracts, but not only government contracts, but then also to do business with those bigger companies like Walmart, Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, Kohl's, all of those bigger companies, and where you can get contracting with them as well. There's also access to mentors. So if you're not familiar with SCORE, you can get a mentor at score.org, and then also additional educational resources that are out there. Some additional resources that we have here at the bank, bankofamerica.com/SBR, which stands for Small Business Resources. It is now known as our Center for Business Empowerment. So on there, you'll find additional resources, grant programs that we might have available, and then also access to capital options in the event that your bank is not approving you, or you're not able to get any type of funding through PACE, because PACE does also offer loans at an affordable price, and they're a CDFI. CDFI, if you're not familiar, are community development financial institutions, and where they're able to provide funding in the event that your bank is not able to get you any type of funding. Any type of financial literacy, bettermoneyhabits.com. And then there are also funding options for minority small businesses. So there's certain agencies that cater to minority small businesses as well. There's also, as I mentioned, community development financial institutions. This deck will be sent out to you. So you can click on the different links and it'll take you to the different websites. Grants. A lot of people ask with grants. And right now, especially with the LA wildfires, there might be some grants that are available because of the LA wildfires that just happened, and then accion.org. So these are all different resources that you are able to leverage if you are ever able to pivot your business or if you need any additional resources. Now, as far as success, right? It's one step at a time. So making these little changes, just very small changes as far as, maybe even revisiting your merchant service provider. So that's when you accept credit cards. You may want to revisit that, your insurance policies. You may also want to take a look at your P&L and see if maybe you're doing automatic payments or any type of payments on there that might help you be able to lower your costs and your operation cost. And since we do have, I did mention to you that there is this today was going to be a short class. So because of that, I'm going to open it up for questions. And then once I answer all the questions, I'm going to go ahead and pivot over to educational resources and specialists and different resources that are available out there for you. I'm going to take a look at the chat and see if there is, okay, so I see a couple things on here. Yes, so Kemper, there will be a recording, and I believe Irene sends it out about a couple of days after we finish today. And Janice, great question. Yes, you will get a copy of the presentation along with the PDF file that's interactive that I'm showing on my screen right now for your reference, and also so that you get all of the links that we talked about today. Any other questions? Been a pretty good class today as far as attendance. Anybody else have any questions before I go into resources? Comments, concerns? All right. Well, here is a PDF file. And let me see if I can actually share my screen versus, I want to be able to share the screen and not just this page, so you could see the websites I'm going to take you to. Okay, applications. No, it doesn't let me. All right. Well, unfortunately, my my work laptop does not allow me to share the websites, just because it's a work laptop and it just wants to make sure that everybody's information is protective and not leak out on accident. So, all right. But you'll get this PDF file. The nice thing about it is once you open it up, you click on these different tabs or pictures, and it'll actually take you to the site and where you can get all the information that's needed.
Valerie, would you share the link to me when you send me the slides today so I can send the attendee?
The links of these different sites.
Yeah.
So it'll actually be on there. So you see how on here I'm hovering over this page?
Yeah.
It says go.bofa.com business webinar. So they just click on it and it takes it to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so I was trying to change it to I can share my screen so they could see the actual website, but my laptop's not allowing me to.
Okay, so
Um,
they will get it anyway.
yes.
Yeah.
But
Okay, sounds good.
yeah. But hello, will there ever be a day where personal will not have to be considered to obtain business credit? That is actually, Ms. Wilmore, that's actually a very, very great question. And the answer is yes, there is a possibility. There is a lenders out there that don't run your personal credit report whatsoever, no matter your revenue size. I can't recall of any right now, but here's what I can tell you. The less information you provide as a small business, the higher your interest rate is going to be. However, they do have those programs out there. So that's one. And then two, yes, your personal credit can does not have to be ran after you hit a certain revenue size. So this all depends on the lender. So at Bank of America, I believe we can consider doing that if you have enough business credit and your revenue is at least 5 million. Again, this could vary by lender. Some of them start at 50 million, some start at 10 million. So it just really it depends, but it does have to be strong credit, strong business credit for you to be considered for that. Awesome. Thank you, Dawn, for your comment. I appreciate it. Now let me go through these different these different pictures so that when you go ahead and go, you kind of have an idea what you'll find on there. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, I am not able to share what the actual website looks like. However, you can go ahead and try it on your personal device or on your device. So when you click on here, it'll take you to the first one is going to take you to the Business Event Center. So what will you find there? You'll find similar workshops like today with different topics. So today I mentioned we have a social media class. We also have benchmarking for your industry benchmarking, where you how to know where your benchmarks stand. We also have cash flow management, access to capital, alternative financing. So we have a lot of different topics on there. So feel free to sign up for one of our classes. I teach there, and so do my counterparts across the country. And there's different time zones. So if you need something earlier, like at 5 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, there's going to be some classes available at that time. Or if you want something in the evening, there will be classes available at that time too. Our women program at Cornell. This is actually an amazing program for our women entrepreneurs. And actually, we say women entrepreneurs, but essentially anybody can take this course. What it is we partnered up with Cornell University, which is an Ivy University, Ivy League university, and you will obtain a certification of you being able to successfully know how to run a business with their marketing plan, and then also being able to have all of the right resources to run a successful business. So you can go ahead and obtain a certificate through Cornell University. And guess what? Bank of America will actually pay for that. And we'll help you with different resources that we have available here internally, but we'll also pay for the program for you to successfully be able to run a business. Tory Burch Foundation. So not only do they make purses and nice shoes and wallets and jewelry, but they actually have a foundation and where they help with scaling up your business. So they have a networking, programming, and they also have education and access to capital options at an affordable rate as well. And I believe they may sometimes have some grants. So definitely do check that out. And Center for Business Empowerment. I mentioned this earlier. You can visit www.bankofamerica.com/SBR, which stands for Small Business Resources. Or even easier, click on the link and it'll take you there. You'll find different resources, articles, how to better your operations, tips. So definitely take a look on there and educational videos as well. We have the Access to Capital directory. As I mentioned, every year at Bank of America, we do a survey. Our clients said, hey, you did not approve my loan and didn't tell me where I can go after to get a loan. So what did we do? We created the Access to Capital directory. It's available to the public. You don't have to bank with us, although we would love to have you as a client. And you're able to see the different types of organization and the event that the bank's not able to help you, PACE is not able to help you, then you would go to the Access to Capital directory to see where you can get the funding from. This year, we went a step further. We created the Access to Capital connector. So if you want a little bit more of a coaching, technical assistant to scale up your business, get advice so that you can get ready and be bankable and get loans with those leading banks, then you can go to the Access to Capital connector. And when you go on there, you click on it and it'll ask you for a short application. And then that short application, it'll ask you how much you need, what you're going to use it for if you're a startup, or if you just are looking for working capital, what is the purpose of the loan? And then we will connect you to a coach that will help you with technical assistance and also get you the funding that you need. If you are looking for anybody to speak at your events, you always have myself, but I also have my counterparts here, CDFI and NAVO ambassadors. So let's just say that you want to be connected to the National Associations of Women's Business Owners, which is a national nonprofit that supports women entrepreneurs. Please go on here. It'll give you a list of different ambassadors that can help you with the different events that are in the area or different programs that they have available to support women entrepreneurs. Or CDFI, let's just say that you went to the Access to Capital directory, Access to Capital connector, and you want to maybe meet somebody here locally for Access to Capital. You can go on here, contact one of us, and we'll direct you to the right direction. If you're looking for a business banker, you could also click here and get one locally for you, or you can send me a quick email, which I will share my QR code right now, and you're able to contact me, and then I can go ahead and connect you to a local banker. So here is my QR code, and I believe I saw a couple. Oh, Janice, please repeat on the Cornell University program. Can you please put the link in the chat? Yes, absolutely. Let me go back here. And let me click on the link. Now, I do want to let you know that you are able to register through here, okay? However, I believe the wait list will be about a year. What we are doing is if you join our informational webinar that gives you all the information you need to be able to register, not only register, but then also get all the information that you need for how it's going to work, what kind of, how long is the process, what is the process going to look like, what are the topics that are going to be covered. If you want all of that information, oh, I forgot, I can't use the chat, but let me send it to Irene and she can put it on there. Irene, I'm going to email it to you.
Yeah, so, I already mentioned, so I'm gonna send a PDF file from today. So, everybody can click the link wherever they want.
Okay. I also wanted to mention that through this first link right here where you set Event Center, if you click there, actually, we should probably do one here for everyone as well. Irene, we should
Yeah.
probably do an informational session. I know I did one with a couple other chambers. Maybe that's something that we can do. But I just sent the links to you. I'll send over the PDF file and all that information over to Irene. But if you do go to Event Center, and you sign up for Cornell Bank of America Institute for Women Entrepreneurs, you're able to get a code of where you immediately enroll into the program. So if you're interested in the program, take a look at the information session webinar that we have. It's available in Spanish. If you know anybody in Spanish, we're doing it in Spanish as well. So we hold Spanish webinars, English webinars, informational webinars. At the end, we give you a code. Unfortunately, that is not recorded, so you do have to attend to get the information. And the reason we're keeping it exclusive like that is so that we're able to get those that we're getting the word out to, so that they can get immediate enrollment. Do you offer loans to someone who is interested in purchasing a laundromat? Yes, Albert, we do. It depends on the scenario. If it's your first one, it's probably going to be difficult for us to do it. So you may want to go through a startup. Like a CDFI that supports startup. If you own a laundromat right now and you're looking to purchase another laundromat, that's a little bit easier. But if you want to shoot me an email or scan my QR code and schedule an appointment with me, I would love to learn about all of your businesses. So feel free to scan on the left, schedule an appointment with me. I would love to talk to you and learn more about your business and see how we can help you. And then also, if you're looking for funding and you're a startup, or maybe your bank has already declined you, make sure that you go to Irene. She might be able to help you as well. I believe you do loans up to $350, right? Irene?
Yes.
Okay, so Bank of America Institute for Women. Yes. Okay, perfect. I don't know if anybody else have any questions.
Okay.
Awesome.
Can you see the link? I just sent the link.
Yes, thank you, Irene.
Okay, here you go. I just sent out the 2 links you gave me.
Wonderful, thank you. Any questions? It doesn't look like anything else, so I don't know if you want to close us out, Irene.
Okay, we can do that. So we are gonna take a break in April, and then we are gonna start second series in May. So you can register through our website. Okay,
Wonderful. Hopefully
so
I'll see you
see.
all next month. There's a lot of new
Okay.
topics, so excited to have you all again.